So Robert Downey Jr. is Dr. Doom, and the reactions of this announcement that I understand came out a couple days ago, but I haven't really had a chance to talk about it until now, has people in a spiral of mixed feelings. Some people are really excited about this, but some people are calling it a desperate attempt at Marvel to flip the script, change things around because they're desperate. It's a desperate attempt. And I can understand where both parties are coming from. However, is it a desperate attempt by Marvel? Sure, but it depends which avenue you're coming from there. Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Ian Talks. Today we're going to be talking about, like I just mentioned, the Robert Downey Jr. becoming Dr. Doom thing. It was announced, I believe, at Comic-Con, where they had a bunch of people dressed as Dr. Doom, and they were announcing that Doom would be the next big villain of the Avengers movies. He would be the villain of Avengers Doomsday, which is replacing Kang Dynasty, and he would also be the villain of Secret Wars. And also big announcement that came with this is that Russos were coming back to direct said films, and they announced that Robert Downey Jr. was going to be the villain. And they were going to use Doom to replace it with Kang because Jonathan Majors and his allegations and issues and whatnot. So original thoughts with this. When I first saw it, I was ecstatic and I exploded out of my chair as gleefully as humanly possible. And then I started to notice that there was some negativity around this, suggesting that Marvel were doing this and needed to bring back Robert Downey Jr. out of pure desperation, and I guess that camp is sort of true. There is some sort of desperation that comes with this bringing back Robert Downey Jr., but not desperation because Marvel needed to bring back Robert Downey Jr. for fan attraction or monetary gain. It was desperation because that the villain that they've been building for a very, very long time ended up not being able to happen because Jonathan Majors was an issue and they decided not to recast as Kang for whatever reason, and now you have a limited amount of time to big up your next big villain for the next Avengers movie, which is happening in only a year and a half, 2 years. This is not a long time. This is not a long time to make this film and come up with these storylines. So the Robert Downey Jr. thing coming back as Doom, I'm very excited about it. I'm optimistic about it because I think there's a right way to do it. However, I do have my concerns with it because this isn't a lot of time to build this character, but also I think that they do it the way that I think they're going to do it. I don't think that they need all that much time to build this character. I've heard a lot of stories and ideas floating around after Jonathan Majors, that whole incident happened in Marvel and Disney ended up firing him from becoming Kang. One opportunity that you could have done is recasting Kang, but I think that would have brought some complications to it. And I mean, it could have worked definitely, because it's a multiverse thing. Kang doesn't have to look the way that he was, but my understanding is that the way that they were building it was the Kang that was defeated and Ant-Man was going to become extremely powerful. He was going to become the Beyonder, to my knowledge, and he was going to be the Kang that gets together the allegiance of Kangs or whatever, and they would all fight each other in the Kang Dynasty movie, and then they would all die in the Secret Wars film. And I guess, my upset with them not recasting Jonathan Majors, or recasting Kang, is because just because we've been building that up for so long, but also I understand why they decided not to do it. I know that there was rumors circulating around everywhere that they didn't redo it because Jonathan Majors' contract said that they couldn't recast Kang and it needed to look like him, and he needed to play every version of Kang. I don't know if there's truth to that. I don't think we're ever going to have an actual confirmation on that unless Kevin Feige says it. But I think that they decide to just switch gears and use Kang for the future whenever we forget this whole situation, because I think they will use Kang eventually, whether it's after Secret Wars when this soft reboot happens, or it's not too long from now. I think it will be a while. But I think it will be a while, but I think they will use Kang again in some capacity. Now, whenever we knew that they weren't going to do Kang, or there was rumors circulating that they weren't going to do Kang anymore and they were going to shift their focus, the question was, what were they going to shift their focus to? Were they going to bring Thanos back? I don't think anybody really wanted to see that. Were they going to do Galactus? Maybe that's a possibility, but I also think that we wanted to save Galactus as a big bad for the future. Were they going to do... this did get thrown out there. An evil Tony Stark, the Supreme Iron Man, the one that built the suit of armor around the world, and I think that this is what that's going to get into. We'll get into that in a second. But they were tossing around ideas what that next big bad could possibly be if you weren't going to do Kang. Now, the good news is that the saga that we're in, the multiversal saga with all these dimensions, and that the theory was that in Secret Wars we're going to be bringing back all these actors that have played these superheroes that we haven't seen in a really long time. I know people are kind of burnt out of the multiverse saga, but I'm not, just because I think that like the possibilities of this are endless, and it's very, very exciting. So whenever we're not going to do Kang again, it opened up all these different opportunities because we have the multiverse. There are a bunch of different opportunities. And whenever they mentioned the Superior Iron Man thing, bringing back Robert Downey Jr., part of me was like, that sounds really, really cool. However, I want to see Robert Downey Jr. come back as a good Iron Man, and I wanted them to all fight with the new Avengers, and I wanted that to happen. However, doing a Superior Iron Man, sounded interesting to me, and whenever they announced that Robert Downey Jr. is going to be playing Doctor Doom, these things started to fall in line, and it started to feel like Marvel thought it was a good idea too. I know that they were tossing around the idea of Tom Cruise playing Superior Iron Man, or at least that was the theory of all of it, and they thought that was the rumors and the leaks, and I think they're going to try and do that again, since now they have Robert Downey Jr. being the villain of this. But I think that Robert Downey Jr. playing Doctor Doom, I love it because I think it is going to be that evil Iron Man thing. I think that this is not going to be Victor Von Doom, and if it is, and I know that the Russo said, you're Victor Von Doom, Robert Downey Jr., I think that this is a Tony Stark that became evil or became Victor Von Doom or was born as Victor Von Doom. I think it would be better if it was Tony Stark who became evil. But regardless, I think that this is going to be an evil Iron Man who became Doctor Doom. And that does happen in the comics at one point. But I think that ultimately, this is an evil Iron Man. I don't think that this is your original Doctor Doom that you're going to be getting. I know people are upset because they were like, well, you're rushing and you're wasting Victor Von Doom on Robert Downey Jr. It seems desperate. It seems like a cash grab. I think this all works out fine if this is a different multiverse thing, and this is just Tony Stark who became Doctor Doom, and Victor Von Doom of our universe, of the MC universe, becomes Doctor Doom because he sees what Tony did. Or whatever. Like, you can get your original Victor Von Doom still, and he can become more dangerous and more powerful than this Tony Stark variant. Simple. Now, on the other side of the coin, if this is just Tony Stark, or this is Robert Downey Jr. just being Victor Von Doom, and in his universe he was always Victor Von Doom, I think that would be not great, because I think that ruins a lot of sentiment to that character. I think it ruins the opportunities for the future. I think that you ruin the storylines of having the Tony Stark that finally lost his shit and built a suit of armor around the world and kind of took over humanity, and you lose the opportunity. Like maybe it could be after Endgame, this motherfucker went batshit and actually did the Ultron protocol and did it the way he wanted to, and he lost his Spider-Man, and he lost his... I think that's why they did this, is that I think that you're going to get a Tony Stark who went batshit. It's a character that we know who may have went through a lot of the similar experiences that we know. Maybe he lost his Peter Parker, he lost his Steve Rogers. and that he thinks he's doing the right thing. Because ultimately, that's kind of Tony Stark's shtick, right? He fucks up a lot, but he does it trying to do the right thing. I think that this could be a similar version of that. Or maybe this Tony Stark had a Victor Von Doom and stole his shit, stole his shtick, instead of him just being the original one, the original Doctor Doom. I would go that route. But I think it should be Tony Stark, ultimately, because I think that Tom Holland's Spider-Man is going to lead this. I think he's going to lead Doomsday, and I think he will lead the Secret Wars movie with your Hugh Jackmans and your Ryan Reynolds and your Tobey Maguires and your Andrew Garfields. I think that's probably going to be the case. And I think them coming together, Spider-Man versus Iron Man, really. Spider-Man versus Doctor Doom, I guess. I think Peter should have the symbiote suit versus a Tony Stark. Peter getting to see Tony after all these years. Tony getting to see Peter. I mean, if they do it that way, I love it. I'm in. I'm booked. Simple as pie. I love that era. However, if they do it the way where people are concerned about, where it's just Robert Downey Jr. is playing a variant of Victor Von Doom, who just becomes Doctor Doom, I don't love that. I would still watch it. I would be excited for it, but I don't love it just because, like, why? I mean, I think that brings more complications than things to be excited about. I would just go the simple route and just have him be a variant of Tony Stark who took after Doctor Doom. I think we all know who Doctor Doom is at this point, right? I mean, I think you should even go that route because, if we do end up getting a Doctor Doom in the MCU, which we inevitably, we have to, right? Like, you have to be able to have that guy for the future. Should be Cillian Murphy, by the way. I think it would be better if Tony Stark took inspiration from him and not our MCU taking inspiration from a Tony Stark that went bad. Because that way you can build our MCU Doctor Doom as even stronger for the future. Like God Emperor Doom. I love that. There's so many, I mean, that's why I'm excited about it. Because with this multiversal thing, you have all the opportunity to turn this into something incredibly interesting. The struggle is not turning it into shit. With the Russos coming back to direct it, part of me is like, love it. Love that they're back. But also part of me is like, I thought we're kind of in a new era now. Like, at one point in time, you would have asked me, sure, I'm in. Can they have one or the other? You know, I thought that, for me, Deadpool and Wolverine was Sean Levy's audition to do Secret Wars or Doomsday. You need to be so careful. Yeah, I mean, you literally have to pick the right guy, and we know that the Russo brothers can do it, so it's not like, and they would do a really good job, so it's not like I'm upset that they're doing it. I was just I would love it if it was like Sean Levy's doing Secret Wars and the Russos are doing Doomsday. It would probably be the other way. Secret Wars is the more important one. And then eventually Sean Levy can, be the Russo brothers of the future if the Russos don't want to do it anymore. But I think that it's going to work out either way. It just, I think that this is something to be excited about. I think this is interesting. I love this idea. But like most things, there needs to be an execution involved with it, and that's it. If they do it right, it'll be great. If they do it poorly, it still will probably be pretty good. It just won't be, as good as it could be. And that would be the most upsetting part. No matter what, we're going to watch it. The question is it going to be as good as it could be? So we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Thanks for watching this episode of Ian Talks. Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Doctor Doom. What do you think? Leave your opinion in the comments. Like this post or video, whatever the fuck. Subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace, love, adios. Bye-bye.